Chapter 55, Oliver. Lynn invited Kaylee, Andrew, and Carter to lunch. I'm not sure why. She was probably just being polite since they were sitting with us in class. Or maybe she wanted to avoid us cornering her and trying to ask about everything with Mark. It's possible she could be trying to help me out with Kaylee. Or it could be that she's on a weird quest to befriend them. Regardless, I'm nervous about lunch. I want to check in with Lynn about the Mark stuff, even though I'm sure that's going to go over like a lead balloon. I'm nervous about being around Kaylee with all of our friends there. She let me walk her to class, but I'm not sure where I stand with her. I text Daniel to let him know I want to talk to Lynn alone. He tells her he'll get her food for her so she can head straight to the house. Daniel takes the rest of the guys with him. I'm assuming you want me to ride with you? Lynn asks as we head to the parking lot. Yeah, I guess subtlety isn't my strong suit. More like we've known each other for our whole lives, and I know when the three of y'all are up to something. Fair. So what is it that you wanted to talk to me about? Lynn sounds swearing. I take a deep breath and then release it. First, I'd like to apologize for what I said on the way to homecoming. I wasn't trying to insult you or say you were doing anything wrong. I only wanted you to see things from Kaylee's perspective. I know you and the guys aren't looking for long-term relationships in high school. There isn't anything wrong with that, and I'm sorry if I made you feel like you were doing the wrong thing because you haven't found a guy you wanted to commit to long-term yet. Forgive me? There's nothing to forgive. You were speaking what was on your mind. I overreacted because of all the crap with Mark. Lynn looked relieved. Speaking of Mark, what did he say when you broke up with him? I ask as we get into the SUV I share with Grayson. What do you mean? Lynn's look of relief vanishes with her question. Now she looks wary. I mean, he told me he was sorry and didn't mean what he said. When it got brought up Saturday, you and Daniel both brushed off the topic. If it was nothing, it wouldn't still be bothering you days later. I let it go Saturday because Grayson was in the car and I figured you wouldn't want to discuss it with him around. Yesterday, y'all dismissed it again, but it seemed like you wanted to talk to Daniel and Xander first. Lynn doesn't say anything as we leave the parking lot. I know the best thing to do is to wait her out, not continue to ask her questions. She'll talk when she's ready. The drive is silent. By the time I pull into her driveway, I've given up on her saying anything. If she isn't ready to talk about it, that's her decision, even if I'm dying to know and part of me wants to interrogate Mark to find out what he did. As we're walking into the guest house, Lynn finally speaks. When we were together, Mark tried to push my boundaries. Anytime we were together and alone, he tried to go farther than kissing. I never allowed it, but he was constantly trying to talk me into it. Why didn't you tell any of us? Because I didn't need your help. I had it handled. I don't live in a tower, and I don't need knights fighting my battles for me. I don't need or want any of you in the middle of my relationships. But since you broke up, and he's been a jerk, you still never brought it up. Yeah, about that. Lynn looks uncomfortable and very unlike herself as she tucks a lock of hair behind her ear. You already know that Mark didn't like that all my close friends are guys. The night he told me he loved me, well, before that, he tried pushing things further again. In hindsight, I think he told me he loved me because he thought it'd make me change my mind and say yes. When I stuck with my no and broke up with him, he didn't take it well. He said a lot of hateful things. Among them, he said no girl could have as many ex-boyfriends I have and have never done anything more than kiss. Lynn starts pacing around the room, straightening random things. Then she continues. He said if that were true, I'd have a reputation for being a frost queen or a frigid prude. I argued, saying I've never done more than kiss any of my exes and have always been upfront about my boundaries. He got hung up on the word exes and said that must mean I was doing things with the other knights. He said that would explain why none of us have lasting relationships or hook up with anyone. He made it sound like that's what the whole school thought. He said that, I asked. Yeah, that we're all like friends with benefits. Lynn won't look in my direction as she talks. I didn't bring it up because I wasn't ready to deal with it. I didn't want it to put y'all on the warpath with Mark. For one, he isn't worth it, and for two, I thought it'd only make it look more like what he was saying was right. Lynn glances my way briefly before going back to pacing. Lynn, I say gently, we're your best friends and always have your back. Us standing up for you doesn't mean we're more than friends. It means we're good friends. All of us would do the same for any of the knights. It isn't because you're a girl. We know you can take care of yourself. But I hope you know we always have your back and you don't have to handle things on your own, even if you only want a listening ear and moral support. I walk over to her and wrap her in a hug. Lynn's admission makes me feel like a crappy friend. Not only did I not know what was going on with Mark, but I reinforced what he said with my words on Saturday. It looks like her anxiety is worse with everything going on. I'm not sure how I didn't notice before. Not that I'm supposed to know she has issues with anxiety, but Daniel and Xander fretting over her so much in junior high tipped me off to something being wrong. Then I overheard a conversation with her mom about her having panic attacks. I've never said anything because Lynn obviously doesn't want anyone else to know. I know that. I guess I just got in my own head about everything. I know if the situation was reversed, I'd want to know about someone being hateful to any of y'all. Lynn hugs me back, hard enough to knock the air from my lungs. I hug her closer to me and take a breath. And you still don't want us to kick his butt? Lynn shakes her head. No, he's getting himself in enough trouble on his own. I heard he's suspended from at least one game due to the dance, and Whitney heard what he said to me in the hallway this morning. I know he approached you and you told him off, but why would Whitney hearing the specifics matter? I squeeze her tight once more before letting her go. The dumb jerk said they weren't together and that she didn't mean anything to him. Between slapping me and insulting her, I'm pretty sure the entire school is mad at him. That's the least he deserves. Yeah, now enough about me. I want to hear about how band practice went yesterday. Lynn wiggles her eyebrows for the end of her sentence. I give her the details of everything with Kaylee as we set up the round table at the guest house. I finish when everyone gets there with food. Lynn gives me an encouraging smile when Kaylee walks in. Lynn's drama with Mark has been a good distraction for how nervous I am to be around Kaylee after our date. It doesn't help to have so many of our friends here. Lynn seems to be in matchmaker mode, setting it up for Kaylee to sit next to me. We talk about nothing in particular as we eat our lunch. Lynn does ask Kaylee about her band and seems to be making a real effort to befriend her. I appreciate it, but I'm a little worried about her being overly friendly, and that might scare Kaylee off. Thankfully, when we're done eating, Daniel suggests a game of horse in the backyard, distracting Lynn. Andrew mutters something about not knowing how to shoot a basketball, and Lynn offers to teach him. Kaylee declines, and I stay inside with her as everyone else heads outside. Don't you want to go with them? Kaylee asks when the door shuts. If you want to, otherwise I'd rather be in here with you. Oh, okay. Kaylee glances around the now empty room. Thanks again for the cupcake this morning. It's not a big deal. Kaylee tucks a piece of hair behind her ear. No one has ever baked anything for me before. Given me something they baked. I didn't mean that you made it for me. I can feel my face heating and know I'm making a fool of myself. I bake a lot, so like I said, it's not a big deal. It was still nice of you. After an awkward beat, I begin to talk about school because it seems like a safer topic. We continue to talk about nothing of substance for a little while. So, about last night, Kaylee starts before trailing off. I'm not sure where she's going with that, and I don't want to open my mouth and mess things up. Not that I know what to say anyway. It was nice, she says. I can hear the but in her voice. I'm worried she's going to shut me out and I'll lose any chance I might have with her, which is the only reason I can think of for me blurting out my next question after I've already decided to keep my mouth shut. When would you like to go out again? I don't know. Kaylee seems thrown off by my question. Are you free tonight for dinner? If I'm going to push my luck, I may as well go all in. I have marching band practice tonight and other band practice tomorrow night. Would it be okay if I came to band practice tomorrow? In part, I'd love to watch Kaylee in her element singing, but I don't like her having to put up with James by herself. Do you actually want to? Of course, you're a good singer. Kaylee blushes. I take that as permission to come, and we move on to less tense topics. The next couple of weeks, we fall into a comfortable pattern. I walk with her to class. We sit next to each other in classes we have together. I watch her band practices. We each eat lunch together off campus a few times. Due to our busy schedules, we don't have a chance to go on another actual date until tonight. I'm glad this is our bye week for football, and I get to spend the evening with Kaylee instead of dealing with the tension on the field. Mark was suspended from football for 3 weeks due to his actions at the homecoming dance. Josh Wicks is our second-string quarterback, and he did great during our away game last week. That has made Mark moodier during practice this week. I wish they wouldn't let him practice since he can't play, but Coach Noble is allowing it. Mark's anger is making him play like crap at practice, which isn't making his mood any better. Maybe Coach doesn't think Mark can skip practice with the team for 3 weeks and then be ready to play again when his suspension is lifted. I shake all thoughts of Mark and football out of my head as I ring the doorbell at Kaylee's house.